Hello everybody, my name is Zathrodock and welcome to the first episode of Zathrodock Plays Magic 2015. In case you needed some form of introduction to Magic 2015, Steam has provided it for you. Hunt bigger game on a bold new adventure with Magic 2015 Duels of the Plansewalkers. Command powerful creatures and wield devastating spells to defeat your opponents in this epic game of strategy. Hone your skills as you battle your way across the planes of the multiverse. Beware though, Plansewalker. Your biggest danger lies ahead. Garruk Wildspeaker, the greatest hunter known, has fallen under the curse of the Chain Veil. He now mercilessly stalks his own kind. Find him and stop him before he finds you. So, yeah, this is, I think the fourth installment of the, I could be wrong. I think it's the fourth installment of the Magic games on PC, or at least from this series. I did not play the 2014, but I played 2012 and 13, so skipped one, but hopefully this one will treat me gently. So let's go ahead and get started here. Here we go. So one thing that I did not have a chance to show you guys was when you actually start the game, it takes you through, you know, what's your difficulty, all that kind of stuff. I think I went for medium, and you select your little duder down here. So in the other Magic games, I'm assuming 14 was the same, you've got your single-player campaign mode, your multiplayer, just, you know, online, they've got a couple different modes, and your deck building. Those are kind of the major spots that you're going to pay attention to. And you got store locator. So the store locators, you know, help find Magic cards and all that stuff. And if you get if you pre-order or you get a code or something from the Magic game, that'll help you find out where you need to, where your closest spot where you can redeem it. So let's go ahead and start the single player, shall we? All right. There's the tutorials, which apparently I have to take. So let's tutorial this thing. I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone, so hopefully that will not hurt me at all. You're a Plansewalker. Plansewalkers draw mana from from lands they visited and use that energy to summon creatures to defeat their rivals. In the Magic game, you'll use your creatures to attack your opponents or to block an attack. Yes. Next.
Welcome to Magic. You and your opponents take the role of Plansewalkers, powerful sorcerers who can magically travel between planes of existence.
Woo! Magical.
To win, you must defeat your opponent by bringing his life total down from 20 to 0.
Got it.
To do this, you will use a variety of tools, represented in the game as a deck of shuffled cards. All players have their own decks to play with. We call this your library.
I never really liked the library, but...
At the beginning of the game, each player draws 7 cards. If you don't like your opening hand, you have the option of redrawing, called a mulligan. To take a closer look at your cards, zoom in.
So let's see, we got...
As you can see, Magic cards
She'll
have
tell
many
me, apparently.
symbols and words. We'll explain what they mean as the game continues.
Hope you guys are excited for tutorials. Woo! This is actually really good. So, I will say this. I think the hands-down best part about these PC versions of Magic, for me, personally, is it's cheaper. I have spent many hundreds of thousands of dollars on Magic cards over the years, and I actually had to stop playing... probably in 2008, 2009, maybe a little earlier than that, just because I got way too into it. It was just bad. That being said, I wasn't that great, which I'm sure you'll find out through the series, but it was a lot of fun, and I miss it a lot, but if you get the PC version, I think I picked it up for $10 on Steam, it kind of limits you in a good way. I mean, you get a very good feel of the game, of the cards and all that stuff, and you get to customize your stuff. But the biggest thing is you're not sitting there just buying pack after pack after pack of cards trying to get specific ones, or, you know, going online to buy them. So it's very safe on that aspect. But But as I was saying, the hands down best thing about the PC versions of Magic, like this one, it is wonderful for getting you started. If you've never played, or it's been 5, 10, 15 years since you played and you kind of want to ease yourself back into it, or you want to introduce it to someone, this is like the best way about going at it. It's just wonderful. So I'm going to shut the hell up now and we'll keep going.
For the first quest, you're playing a green deck. Green's specialty is large, powerful creatures. Your opponent is Crimson Mage.
I bet he's a jerk.
To cast spells or summon creatures, you're gonna need some resources. In Magic, the main resource, mana, comes from lands. Every turn you may play a land from your hand. Once you have enough lands on the battlefield, you'll have the mana you need to cast spells, including summoning creatures. Play a land now.
Yes, ma'am. I want this forest. Poof.
Since you don't have enough mana to cast any spells yet, we'll pass the turn to Crimson Mage.
This time, Mr. Mage.
Crimson Mage will also play lands to build the resources he needs to cast spells.
I believe you.
Now, he will cast a spell.
I also believe you on that one.
Crimson Mage has summoned a creature. Attacking with creatures, like Crazed Goblin, is the major way players defeat their opponents. On every creature card, the bottom corner displays its power and toughness.
Look at that, right there. Take a closer look.
Is the amount of damage a creature deals in combat. Toughness is the amount of damage needed to destroy this creature. Every spell has a mana cost. To summon Crazed Goblin, it costs Crimson Mage a single red mana. It's represented by this symbol.
That goblin's so crazy.
He had to use up, or tap his land, to pay to cast this spell. Tapped cards are turned sideways. Mana costs can be more complex than Crazed Goblins. Summoning this creature will cost 4 mana, and 2 of the mana must be green. When a player gains control of a creature, it can't attack or do anything that requires tapping. This is called summoning sickness. These creatures will have a dizzy look to them. But we can expect the Crazed Goblin to attack on Crimson Mage's next turn.
Expectations. So you'll see right here, it's automatically...
Turn. Let's summon Colonian Tusker. To cast this spell, play a second land, and then choose the creature that costs 2 green mana.
As I was saying, lady, you'll see these little diamonds down here. I'm sure they'll go over it. They kind of have to. But as these turns are going back and forth, again, if you're a newer Magic player, you'll be able to kind of see the flow of the turns and when you can actually do things. And in the PC version, it will automatically do these for you. So if you aren't able to play anything, a lot of the times it'll just pass that phase and move on, so you're not really losing time. So let's go ahead and do what the nice lady told us to do.
This creature's power and toughness are 3/3, more than a match for that Crazed Goblin. Let's pass the turn.
Pass it.
Now, Crimson Mage will play a land and then attack us with the Crazed Goblin. The Crazed Goblin has to attack because its rules say it must.
So, real quick, I'm going to zoom in. Crazed Goblin attacks each turn if it's able. So this is what she was saying, it must attack, because that's really what the card tells you. So you got to follow the rules. Donna! Time to block.
When a creature attacks, it taps and moves forward. Now you have a chance to respond.
I didn't mean to click that, I'm sorry. Okay, so here we go. She'll tell me. Oh, now you have a chance to respond with creatures you want to block with. You happen to have a creature on the battlefield that will block very well. Ooh, you don't say.
If Crimson Mage's attacking creatures aren't blocked, you will take damage. Your Colonian Tusker can keep you safe. Creatures with summoning sickness can block. Block the crazed goblin!
We're crazy! We'll get him! Yatcha. Okay, apparently I just clicked now. You used to have to drag it, so that's kind of nice. Then click the block button to finalize.
During the combat damage step, each creature deals damage equal to their power. This time, these creatures will deal damage to each other at the same time. Crazed Goblin will die, and the Colonian Tusker will survive.
Pretty much excellent news. Take that, jerk.
At the end of every turn, each creature heals. Any damage dealt to them is removed. You don't have to keep track of damage from turn to turn.
Excellent.
Play another land.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's our chance to attack Crimson Mage.
Kick his face. Attack!
Because he doesn't have any creatures to block with, Crimson Mage will take 3 points of damage.
Take it. Poof.
You don't have any spells that you can cast for now, so let's pass the turn.
Okay, lady. Your turn, Mr. Mage. Ooh, what's that? Hey, what's this? Blood Craze Neonate? I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry to everyone who cares. Blood Craze, that word, attacks each turn if able. Oh, so another one. Whenever Blood Craze Neonate. Yep, Neonate, we're going with it. Committing. Deals combat damage to a player, put +1/+1 counter on it. So that's really nice if I don't have anything to block with, but because I do, we're not going to be too worried about it. More mana. By mana, I mean land. By land, I mean mana. So we're going to summon this dude, because he's big and burly. Poof.
Time to attack. Send your Colonian Tusker into combat. Remember that you can't attack with your Rumbling Baloth yet, because it has summoning sickness.
He's so sick. It's just dizzy.
It's important to know that in Magic, you can only decide that your creatures are attacking an opponent. You don't have control over which of your opponent's creatures will block.
So this is a huge difference for people who play like Hearthstone, or I guess really any other card game that doesn't have this mechanic is going to be different. But I'm going to use Hearthstone because it's super accessible and a lot of people use it. So you can't actually choose specific ones like she just said. So really you don't know if they're going to block or not. So it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Unless the card says otherwise, blocked creatures deal all damage to the creatures that blocked them. No damage is dealt to the defending player. Blocking with small creatures to not take any damage is sometimes a good strategy.
And back to full health. Very nice. What's this guy? Bloodrock Cyclops. Attacks each turn if able. Man, this guy's deck is full of them.
This time, we're gonna try something a little different. Instead of playing your land and casting a spell before combat, wait until after combat.
So this is actually super common. I personally will... Okay, so I'm real bad. So I will often put my land down first at the beginning of my turn. I'm sure there's a benefit to not putting it down first because your opponent won't know that you have a land or something like that. But the bigger key is not playing spells or creatures until after your attack phase. The reason being, your opponent will see that you have a bunch of untapped land, and won't know if you have a spell or like an instant or something that you can use during the combat phase to either beef up your character or your creatures, or do like a one shot and take out one of theirs, or it makes it much more difficult for the opposing player to understand what you're going to do or predict what you're going to do. Whereas if you have all your land tapped, they know you can't play any spells. So that's why it's suggesting to do things a little different this round. So we're going to go ahead and skip our main phase and move right into combat.
Now, attack with both of your creatures.
Yes, ma'am. They're probably going to trade these two.
It looks like Crimson Mage has decided not to block with his Bloodrock Cyclops, so he'll take 7
Well
damage.
then.
Awesome.
Woo! That Bloodrock Cyclops is going to attack next turn.
During the main phase after combat, go ahead and play your land. You'll be in great shape to win if you cast this creature next.
So this kind of goes back to what I was saying before. So by him not blocking, playing as the opponent really, by the opponent not blocking, next turn they're going to be able to do some damage to me. Because I did not play anything prior, I have all this land available, and I can play a creature or a spell at this point. The opponent, had I put down this creature to begin with, may have actually blocked one of the other ones, because then it would have been like, okay, well, next turn I'm going to end up losing my creature anyways, because if I attack, I would end up, I meaning the opponent, if the opponent were to attack, I would end up blocking with this creature. So if I had already had it out, they probably would have traded this card for my 3/3 and just taken both of them out. So that's really the benefit of waiting a little bit longer. But against the computer, I usually don't, which got me in a bad habit of not doing this when I'm playing actual people and really putting myself at a disadvantage. But we'll go ahead and move on, and I'll stop chattering. By the way, nothing fancy about this one, just a 3/7, so no additional abilities.
Crimson Mage will play a land and attack. Things are looking good.
See, now I can block with this. Come on. So I'm going to take 3 damage, but I have 7 health or toughness on this creature, so it's not going to die, but it'll kill that off. And then next turn I'll be able to go in with everything and deal the last 10 points of damage. Assuming he doesn't play anything, which he's not going to.
All you need to do now is attack with everything.
Attack! Boop. 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 Finish him! Woo!
In Quest 2, we'll spice up the battle with other kinds of spells.
Ooh, like with paprika and salt and pepper. Cool, so that's the first tutorial. On to tutorial 2. Let's see, there's gonna be 4 more tutorials. So we'll do another one this round. In addition to summoning creatures, you'll use mana from your lands to cast sorceries. One-time use spells that can have a variety of immediate effects. So I have an assumption we might be playing a blue, red, or black.
Using a black deck. Black's specialty is removing your opponent's creatures. Your opponent is Azure Mage.
So we're playing against a blue deck, I believe.
We arrived to this game
Yes.
already in progress. As you can see, a lot of dueling has gone on so far. But with no creatures on the battlefield, it'll take a miracle to survive the next few turns. It's Azure Mage's turn, and she attacks with her last remaining creature, bringing your life total to 2.
Egads! Tutorial, why are you so difficult? What is this? When Mana War enters the battlefield, return target creature to its owner's hand. Alright then. So I'm going to take 2 damage. Come on. Cuss slap! Now we're going to win this.
Promising. You've drawn Assassinate, a sorcery. Sorceries are cards intended to be used a single time.
Through the cunning use of tutorials, we're going to win this. Hey, this is that thing I was talking about earlier. So, in Magic, your turn is split into 5 phases. Sorceries can be cast in either of your 2 main phases. So, down here on the diamonds, the first one or the third one is when you can cast sorceries.
Assassinate is a card that can destroy a creature of your choice, as long as it's tapped. Since you're at 2 life, you'd better use it on Azure Mage's creature before it kills you.
Sure thing, boss! Boop. We shall win this.
Azure Mage will cast some spells. Divination allows the player to draw 2 cards, a signature blue spell.
I'm going to assume they're going to play it. Yep. Divination. So they got...
Now your opponent has a creature that has a special ability. Zoom in on the card to find out what makes Winddrake difficult to block.
Because it's flying, which means it's a jerk. Winddrake has the flying ability, which means it can soar over your ground defenses. You'll need to play a card that can deal with this airborne threat. Yes, so flying's real good, and I usually see it in white decks. Blue's got some, obviously, and then black. But I want to say white's the most common, at least in the last couple series, as far as I'm aware. From the PC version, I am far from an expert, but my experience, white has a lot of flying creatures, so if that's your thing, that might be something to look into. Yeah, it's got a little floaty.
Another Assassinate card. You have no way to destroy Azure Mage's Winddrake. What will you do to stay alive?
Be a badass and play this Vampire Nighthawk, which also has flying, and lifelink, which we will zoom in and find out more about. We're going to do it now. So, flying, death touch, and lifelink. So, I'll give you the official description. So, flying, blah, 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 blah. Creatures with flying can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. So, reach is basically a ground creature, so one that doesn't have flying will have the reach ability that lets them attack flying creatures or block them, all that kind of stuff. Death touch. Creatures dealt damage by something with death touch are destroyed. So that means if he's got a 10-10 creature on the other side and I have a 1-1 death touch, my 1-1 death touch will kill his 10-10 creature because it is damaged by a death touch creature. Lifelink. Damage dealt by something with lifelink also causes its controller to gain that much life. So because this has 2 attack, every time it hits something, I will be getting 2 health back. And then summoning sickness, and yep, it's a creature. 0. Time for them to attack, and I will block. Or they're not going to attack because they're intelligent. Okay, what are you? Goliath Sphinx, flying. He makes his home on the tallest mountains of where the vista is as endless as his patience.
Now you're in serious trouble.
Oh no!
Goliath Sphinx can kill you with 1 hit. But the good news is that your Vampire Nighthawk can kill any creature it deals damage to because it has death touch.
Haha! Take that explanation I just gave. Alright, what do we got? Zombie Goliath, removing the... oh, this doesn't have anything, I was just reading the thing. So it's a 4/3, doesn't have reach, doesn't have flying, which is real bad for me. So what's going to happen is going to play this. I'm not going to attack, because he's going to probably try and attack with this the next turn, so I need to block.
Interesting decision.
Alright, you tell me.
Attack with your Vampire Nighthawk? If you do, you won't have any untapped creatures to block the Goliath Sphinx with.
Right, so what's going to happen, I'm not going to attack. Next turn they're going to attack with both of their creatures. I'm going to block the 8/7 with my Vampire Nighthawk. It will kill it. I will gain 2 health, negating the 2 health that I would lose from their other dragon. Then the following turn, assuming they don't put anything out, I will attack with my 4/3 and finish the game. So let's see how accurate this is. Skip, please. You made the right choice, self. Okay, I was kind of close. So I'm going to block this so that next turn they're going to still be able to block this. So block. They'll have to block this card the next turn because I'll kill them. Which means I'll have a 4/3 on the board and they'll have nothing.
A powerful sorcery. Rise from the grave can reanimate creatures that are in a graveyard. Now's your chance to take that Goliath Sphinx as your own.
Bwaha! Continue. So, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Play it. Select, yep. Confirm, yes. And now I'm way betterer.
It appears safe to attack with your zombie Goliath.
Damn straight. So they're gonna block so they don't lose. And here we go. Oh, couldn't do nothing. Time for murder!
Swing in for the win.
Poof, poof. I only need 1, but it's way better to do 2 because it's fun. Or if they had a spell or an instant that could knock one of them out. Playing it safe. The best kind of kill is
As you
overkill.
play more Magic, you'll run into many kinds of spells and creature abilities. Look for spells that fit your playstyle. In Quest 3, we'll learn about spells with more permanent effects.
Excellent tutorial! So guys, I'm gonna cut this one here. When we come back, I will do I'll see if I can get the last 3 tutorials in. But I'm gonna finish out the tutorials, so if you are new and this is how you're learning, muy bueno. If it's not, you can skip to my later videos that'll have the single player, and we'll go through the campaign. So yeah, that's the plan. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. If you are, please feel free to like, favorite, and subscribe for maximum awesomeness, and it's super helpful to me, so that'd be cool. And yeah, thank you all again for watching, and I will catch you in the next episode of Zathrodock Plays Magic 2015. See ya!
Okay, what's your level?
I have a question.
Level?
Since when do bees stand on the ground and point at you?
Obviously, they're bastards. Since farting was magic?
Oh,
Fart magic!
since I can do this?